Okay, so have a couple of issues with the 330i. It's over 200 kilometers on the mileage, or kilometers is over 200,000. So you get different issues. Now the first issue I have is the battery. The car seems to run out of juice, and I took off the alternator some time ago, and I noticed that the brush on the alternator had really gone way out. It's really eating up. I mean, if it's over 200,000 kilometers, then you start to expect failure from the alternator, normal wear and tear. And also recently, yesterday, I couldn't take it to work because cylinder 6 was misfiring. So I'm just hoping it's the ignition, and I bought a set of the ignition. I've already changed 2 of them, so there's another 4 left. So I just ordered 4 more from Amazon, and hopefully they should come on tomorrow, and I'll change that as well. But what I want to do is take out the alternator. I already took it out before. Take it out and swap the brushes. I bought some new brushes from on eBay, and I'll show you guys that. Okay, so it's freezing. It's probably like -15, and not a good time to be working in your car. I wish all the problems happened in summer, but there you go. So yeah, I will start working on the car and get all the tools and everything ready. Taking off the engine cover and swapped out the coil for 6, which was the one misfiring. I swapped it out with an older coil pack I had when I replaced this too. And I tried the engine now, and it's not misfiring anymore. So I've ordered new sets, 4 new sets to replace the 4 old ones. These 2 are new, and I should be fixing that. Now what I need to do is work on the alternator that has an issue. It's low on the brush. I'm not about to replace it. I'm just going to replace the brush. Yeah. To get to the alternator, you have to take off the air box. That's the air filter, the box. You take it off, then you have access to the alternator. Then you need to get these Torx screws. These are used ones bolts. There's 1, 2 here. There's 1 here. There's 1 underneath this, and there's 1 at the bottom. There's 2. This one. This one. So they need to be replaced when you change this. And there is a cable here, and the positive terminal. You need to take that off as well. I was able to get the alternator out of the car, and this is a very good use of a kitchen table. I must say, if I say so myself. So I got the alternator. There's a couple of things I noticed. It's kind of greasy. I know that the oil filter housing was leaking and I fixed that, so some of the oil probably got in here. So I just cleaned that up a bit after I finished. So I'll just show you what I want to change. Okay, so this has to come off, and behind this you'll find the Alternator Regulator. Okay, so I got a new one, which is the Valeo. I got it on eBay. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Unboxing video. There we go. Kind of hard to do this with one hand, but okay. So yeah, so this is the Alternator Regulator, and the brushes are in there, and I'll show you what they look like. If I can just set this camera down. Okay, I'm gonna have to pause the camera and show you there. I'm gonna take this off. I'll show you what the old regulator looks like and what the new one looks like. Alright, so I have taken off the voltage regulator from the alternator, and one of the things you want to do is inspect the slip rings. These are quite worn, but I mean, they still got a couple of more miles on them. Now, if you can see the plastic through the white stuff through the slip ring, then you know they're totally gone. But this is worn out, but should suffice. A couple of more miles, I guess. And okay, now onto the main stuff is the regulator. This is the new regulator. You can see how this is about an inch or so, and the old one, look at how worn it is. There's barely any contact with the slip rings, knowing that the slip rings themselves have actually been worn out a bit, so there would be very little contact there. So I'm going to change this and put the new one. You can see, turn it around, make sure it's exactly the same part. Yep, looks similar to me. Okay, so the new one's going to go in, and it's going to go in the bin. Now hopefully I shouldn't have any more problems with the failing battery, losing power in the car, and this should last me several more miles. The car is old, so it should last me as long as I intend to have the car and get rid of it or convert it to electric. Okay. Alright, so I have changed the voltage regulator and I've coupled the back cover back. I also used my wire brush to kind of dust off, brush out some of the murk and oily grime on the surface, so it's looking a little bit presentable. I'll make sure I dust it up so that the oil doesn't get stuck in the moving components in there, so you need to be careful about that. So yeah, it's really actually an easy job. Anyone can do this, and you go to BMW, this costs about $600 or thereabout, you know, and it's said to be a non-serviceable part. But you know, we got to save the environment. We got to do what's right. If you can fix it and use it again, it's better than having this go into a field, landfill, or wherever. I do know they have core charge and all that stuff, but you know, I'm a firm believer in repairing stuff and as opposed to throwing them away and buying a new one. So this is the old part. You can see how this is gone, right? It's finished, and yeah, so this will be going in the plastic, and this will be going back in the car. It's actually so cold outside, I don't want to go out, but yeah, I'm gonna have to get this back in the car. Be mindful that you have to replace the bolts. I ordered new bolts, but eBay, it's taken forever to get from the manufacturer to the eBayer and to me, so I'm going to put the old bolts back. I'm going to do my best not to torque it too tight, and when the new bolts come in, I would change them out and put the new bolts, because I need to drive the car to work, and I needed to fix this weekend. Okay, so I'll give you once I put this back, I'll give you a shot of it and start the car and see what the voltage is like. Okay, so it's day 2. Just to recap, I took out the alternator and swapped the regulator with the worn out brushes with a new regulator and some good brushes. I also had an issue with the number 6 coil pack, which had failed, causing the engine to idle roughly. So I had an older one, like I said, just to recap. When I replaced this too, and I removed it and put that, and the engine started to idle properly, but not as good as it should, because the one I replaced, it was failing as well. So today is Sunday, thanks to Amazon. It took 2 days and I got 4 new Coil Packs. Now, for this model, the early 2006 model, you got to be careful when you buy this Coil Packs. If you notice, the notch is on the left hand side. Now when I went to Napa and the pad source and the the regular parts dealer, they would either, I would only find the coil pack where the notch was in the middle or on the right. Now that wouldn't fit in this 2006 model BMW 330i, so I ordered this online. And when I initially bought this last year to replace the failing ones from the same dealer, I'll paste a link to the Amazon site where I got these if you need to get one of these. So I got 4 because I initially changed 2. I was being a little bit like, one gets bad, why change all of them and just change 1. So now the 6th one has failed, so I just bought 4, so I'm going to replace the other 4 that I didn't change earlier. So I'm going to take out the this, and number 1. To get in there, you can probably get in there with your tool, but I usually like to take out this stability bar or whatever it is, get it out of the way so I can pull out the plugs. Yeah, the alternator seems to be okay. I'm still using an alternator tester. I'm still getting a fault with it's showing a fault. I don't know if the tester is bad or not, but I use my multimeter and I'm getting 14 to 15 volts. All the electricals in the car seem to be working okay. The battery's charging okay, so I'll see how that goes. And if it's something still wrong with the alternator, I may have to change it eventually. But I doubt that is the case. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull out the old coil packs and replace them. I'm taking out the old, I'm going to try to do this one-handed, maybe for one of the coil packs. It's quite easy. After taking off the cover, now bear in mind, to take off the cover and to get in there, you need to take off there's a little kind of brace in here with the air cleaner for the interior cabin air cleaner, so you got to take that off as well. Then you take off the plastic engine cover, then you have free access to all of these. I mean, you can try to wriggle your way, but I mean, it's better to get everything out of the way, and so when you're making changes, you don't pull out any cables or break anything. Everything's really in the clear. So it's quite easy. All you have to do is pull this up, and that kind of, as you pull this up, it ejects the connector. Yep, so let's go there. So I'll show you. Once you put it in, it locks the connector. So you pull it up, and the connector snaps out, and there it is. Put it aside and wiggle it out. And that's the old one. This one's still good, so I'm gonna keep it. It's still good for now. Grab me a new one. Same process. Put it in. To twist it and make sure it's in there. It's not nice and snug. And you grab the connector. Remember the tab, right? You can see the left tab. Now if you have the wrong coil pack, that's not going to fit. Snap that in. It engages the lock. Easy does it. I like to make sure it's in there. Not sure why that's snapping out, but non-OEM parts. Okay, so 1 down, 3 to go. Same process. Damn it. My fingers are numb. Hopefully I can get away without taking out that bar. Kind of hard to do with one hand, so I'm just going to shut this down. You get the idea for the first one. Okay, so it took more than one hand. There's no way I could have done that with just one hand. And so you can see it. These were the 2 I had before. This is new. And 1, 2, and there's one hidden behind right here. So just make sure. Oh, this one doesn't look like it's all the way in. Yeah, it's not all the way in. So maybe we can do this together. It's kind of tight now. Problem is, it's cold and my hands are freezing. And let's see if I can do it with one hand. Let's go all the way in. Shouldn't do this, but I'm just trying to get some leverage to push. Yep, looking good. So you can see that gap right there. It's all closed up. I can snap it in. Yep, perfect. Make sure they're all closed, yeah, no gaps. Oh, I see a little gap there. Let's check this one. No gaps, no gaps. There's a gap right there. Needs to be fixed. Open it up a little bit. See if you can. Gap is closed. Perfect. Yep. No gaps. No gaps. No gaps either. So it's looking good. Get these are the ones I changed. There's 3 of them. I'm just gonna keep these just in case. They're not bad yet. And let's give this bad boy a start. Oh, all my keys, okay. Everything's in place. Little rod here. Okay. So, keyless go. By the way, I'll show you my tablet install. Sweet start. The idle's sitting at 1, no dancing around. And yeah. My tools, I'll show you some what I got. I got a C-reader. I've also got the Coli CAN cable connected to my laptop with the INPA as well. I'm going to use that to check and make sure there's no errors related to the generator, which is the alternator. But yeah, I want this to idle a bit and I'm going to rev it to see how it revs. Also did the, if you look here, also did the coding for the digital speedo. So using the NCS export on the input cable as well. Funny enough, when I did that change, that's when the final plug coil pack went out. Seems to be idling really good. And yeah, let's put a little gas in it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Woo! I swear it sounds different. Okay, good stuff. it's purring like a kitten. Alright guys, so that's the video. It's just a daily, or I'll call it regular maintenance. Fix the alternator, swap out some of the coil packs, and yeah, that's it. I'm gonna assemble all the parts back, and yeah, I'm done. Thanks for watching. Bye.